The other group I wanted to talk about, the other group of people, were the vulnerable. So, like the vulnerable people during coronavirus, the elderly, the people who are immunocompromised or have comorbidities, um, and the fear and anxiety that these people are going to have returning to work and returning to their sort of normal life. And also even people, who work in a big office and they have to go back to work and be around lots of people again, and that fear of socializing and being in close contact with people. um, how can these people help manage their fears and anxieties?
Yeah, I think that's going to be really tough. And I think that if you have kind of underlying health conditions, or you are in that in those vulnerable groups, and it is really stressful. My mum is, my elderly mum was in that group, and so for her, it's been pretty stressful. I think the way through, though, and the way that we kind of help people is it's about information. It's about making sure that our public health response is good. It's about making sure people follow the rules. Like the rest of us need to do the things that are going to help to keep those people safe. And then I think it's about workplaces putting kind of enough health and safety things in place so that people can be protected. It's about trying to find ways for those people to work from home if they have to, until this thing is more controlled. And I know one of the things in the early childhood sector, there are a lot of older people that work in that sector, and so it's about finding ways to make that safe for people. But the reality is, at the moment, if I was in those groups, I'd be pretty worried too. Like, I'd be staying in my bubble
Mm.
hardcore until, and that's difficult too, because if you're an older person living by yourself, or a person who's immunocompromised living by yourself, it's a long time to be by yourself and not have contact with other people, and to live in this weird world where even if someone delivers your groceries, it's kind of like your groceries almost are covered in this crawling layer of viral unpleasantness that you've got to deal with. It's just, I think about trying to kind of, us as a community, manage the broader stuff, and then support people who are in that position, for people who are there to be asking for the help that they need.
Yeah.
And then, just your personal practices of how you get through it. So it is things like, meditation. It's about focusing on your kind of mission or purpose and why you're doing the thing in the first place. I think it's a multi-leveled approach that will help those people get through.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I really like what you say about focusing on the mission. I've heard you speak about it before, and that really resonated with me. You've got a specific focus, and you're thinking about the bigger picture and your mission. I think that's really a really important way of thinking during this time, and during any time that's a bit challenging.
Yeah, because I think humans are weird, right? Like dogs. I've got a dog. He doesn't have it. Well, his mission is basically to sleep and bark at people walking past the gate, and that's it. He's done. If he does those two things, it's a good day, But for us, I think for humans, having meaning and purpose and worth, and I think that's because we're social animals, and we're made to connect in these big groups, and so a lot of our self-worth comes from our sense of worth, and so focusing on the mission, I think, helps us to do that. And you look at people like astronauts and scientists who work in really bleak places like the Antarctic, who can be isolated for long periods of time. That's what they do. They focus on the mission. They focus on the purpose. They focus on why they're there and what the reason is that they're there, and they do that. And they do, the other things around the outside of it. But they kind of have that core purpose that drives them forward. I think it's kind of what's important for young people to see, that this, they have a mission. Their mission is to help keep other people safe. It's to keep vulnerable people safe. It's to keep older people safe.